More than 15 million Americans watched last night's first debate among Democratic presidential contenders, and the Wednesday morning quarterbacks are replaying the highlights, including our chief political correspondent, Michael Aron. What'd you think?
Well, I thought, like most members of the political class, that Hillary Clinton had a great night last night. I thought she was the most presidential person on the stage. She seemed very unscripted, yet there's evidence today that focus groups and millennials thought Bernie Sanders was the winner last night.
Generational again. What were the highlights?
Well, one highlight was on gun control, where they differ, and we'll pick it up here where Anderson Cooper asks Sanders to defend his vote to shield gun manufacturers from lawsuits, and Sanders says it's complicated.
Do I think that a gun shop in the state of Vermont that sells legally a gun to somebody, and that somebody goes out and does something crazy, that gun shop owner should be held responsible? I don't. On the other hand, where you have manufacturers and where you have gun shops knowingly giving guns to criminals or aiding and abetting that, of course we should take action.
Secretary Clinton, is Bernie Sanders tough enough on guns?
No, not at all. I think that we have to look at the fact that we lose 90 people a day from gun violence. This has gone on too long, and it's time the entire country stood up against the NRA. The majority of our country supports background checks, and even the majority of gun owners do.
Another interesting moment came on the subject of Syria, which invited comparisons with the war in Iraq. Here's Sanders criticizing Clinton for her vote to go to war in Iraq.
I will do everything that I can to make sure that the United States does not get involved in another quagmire like we did in Iraq, the worst foreign policy blunder in the history of this country.
If you're looking ahead and you're looking at someone that made that poor decision in 2002 to go into Iraq when there was no real evidence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Secretary Clinton, he's questioning your judgment.
Well, I recall very well being on a debate stage, I think about 25 times, with then Senator Obama, debating this very issue. After the election, he asked me to become Secretary of State. He valued my judgment, and I spent a lot of time with him in the Situation Room, going over some very difficult issues.
And then there were the emails.
The email moment was the high point of the debate. Sanders took the high road and said to Clinton, "America is sick and tired of hearing about your emails," and then he went on.
Middle class of this country is collapsing. We have 27 million people living in poverty. We have massive wealth and income inequality. Our trade policies have cost us millions of decent jobs. The American people want to know whether we're going to have a democracy or an oligarchy as a result of Citizens United. Enough of the emails. Let's talk about the real issues facing America.
After the Clinton performance, you had to wonder whether Joe Biden is still thinking about getting into this race. Mary Alice?
Thank you, Michael.